All right, peace, peace, namaste, soul family. This your boy, Two Face in the place, aka Soul Brother 29, and today, I'm be discussing. This is my first video, by the way, of the channel. So I've been studying this along this journey for a minute, and I decided to do the channel. Just something I've been wanting to do. I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it now. So the first video I'm gonna talk about, you know, spirituality versus religion, and where did spirituality and religion start? And it's kind of like both of them come from the same place. It's just kind of like the flip side of the same coin. Now we're gonna get into this. I wrote down a few notes, and I'll be looking at these notes, and it's like I could spit this shit off the top of my head, really, but I just won't have it a little more organized and put some facts down because somebody gonna always want to challenge what you see. You see, it was 12 disciples. They gonna say it was 13 if you count Mary Magdalene and all that shit. And speaking of the disciples and all that, another point I'm gonna prove that Jesus was not a Capricorn, and we're gonna get to that. It's facts here, and some of this is theories, and some of the stuff, I mean, you can't prove shit about what happened in a place you never been, where they ain't even take pictures, just books to record. So it's all about belief, but all this information I'm presenting with you resonate with me. And when I'm talking about giving you advice on certain things you could do, that's coming from experience. So I ain't gonna never tell you should do nothing I ain't do. If something like I heard I want to try, I'm gonna let you know that I heard from such and such that this worked and it's a good idea. But at the same time, I'm coming from experience and a knowing point of view. Now, we're going to start with everything started in Africa. Let's get that straight first. Everything started in Africa, and far from contrary belief, it didn't start in Egypt. Now, everything started in Central Africa. And put it like this, I'm going to break this down to you, give you an analogy everybody should understand. We're going to relate the beginning of spirituality and religion next to parallel with the beginnings of hip-hop / rap. That's something everybody should be familiar with. If you ain't familiar with hip-hop, you just need to turn your computer off and go crawl back under the rock you crawl from under, because I can't do nothing for you. You probably still think Jesus is a Capricorn. A lot of you still think Jesus is a Capricorn, but we're going to prove today Jesus is not a Capricorn. But we're going to start in Africa. And where we're going to start at Africa is Nubia, which Nubia is the region of modern-day Sudan, Ethiopia, Kenya, all of that. And like back in the days when it first started, everything was loosely defined. Let me see how I'm gonna put it. They didn't have no borders. It was just like they had tribes. And all these tribes, they went where they want to. They ain't had to pay rent. Nothing wasn't defined by borders. So the Nubians was all this area. And if you want to go in depth, it was certain, composed of several tribes. One of them was the Wawat, and Nubia was also referred to as Kush too. Nubia and Kush could be interchanged. And the Tasetet tribe, that's translate to land of the boat. And a lot of this information I got from home team. I forgot the guy name brother name on YouTube. We got a YouTube channel, but he from DC. He put out a lot of good information. But anyway, everything started in Nubia, and the Egyptians, and we're going to get this straight, which was the Kemites. Egypt is what term I'm going to use? A Greek word, Caucasian word or whatever. When they came, Alexander the Great came, which we're going to get into that. It was Kemet before he came. When they went back to Greece, they started calling it Egypt, and they introduced Egypt, or Kemet, to the rest of the Caucasian world. So, and, you know, the whole slavery thing, and Caucasians retaught us the shit that we taught them, so hence we call it Egypt now. But I might say Kemet, Egypt, but it's the same thing. Well, you know, some people might get offended. Oh, it's not Egypt. He don't know what he's talking about. It's Kemet. And who gives a fuck? You probably one of them motherfuckers who still think Jesus a Capricorn. But we gonna say Kemet right now. So, the Kemites were Nubians that migrated up north of the Nile River. And an interesting fact that Nile River is the only river that flows from south to north. That's why if you look at a map and you see the top of Egypt or Kemite, Kim, it say South Egypt. And the bottom part is labeled as North Egypt. But that's why. But anyway, the Kemites / Egyptians, they migrated up north to the Nile and settled there. And that was they more like the pinnacle of the Nubians. So, and how we gonna say this, put it like this. The Nubia was the Bronx. And that was where hip-hop started. Kool Herc, you know, Kool Herc. Then you had Grandmaster Flash and them, and African Bambaataa. But this was like the core of the hip-hop. Kool Herc started it. Grandmaster Flash, he perfected the backspin or the loop or the, not really the scratch. He was the one that perfected the two turntable technique. And African Bambaataa was more like he kind of organized it. So Kool Herc started it. Grandmaster Flash was the one that, you know, kind of perfected it. And African Bambaataa organized it. And through all of this going on, they still had people under them doing their own thing. So everybody made their contributions. And that was Nubia / the Bronx. So now, the Kemites, and a lot of people might not like how I break this down, but fuck you probably still think Jesus is a Capricorn, so it don't matter to me. But the Kemites, we gonna call them the Sugar Hill Gang, because they was the first people to take the information of the culture from the Bronx and record it. You see what I'm saying? They put it on the walls and recorded it. They introduced it to the, so put it like this. From somebody who wasn't from New York, they'll think Sugar Hill was the first rap group. Just like somebody not from Africa come over and think the Egyptians was the first people to worship Osiris, the sun god, Atum, Amun-Ra, and all these deities was a Neteru, for you niggas who still think Jesus is Capricorn, or the Necha. They were the first people to record it. So we got the Bronx, Nubia, brought it up to Egypt, Kemet, the Sugar Hill Gang, they recorded it. So now we got recordings in, all right, in Ethiopia, they played a vital part in this too, because Ethiopia, well, now we talking about spirituality right here. We talking about the deities. And I wrote down a little breakdown of the deities, because there's so many of them, but this like where it started at, with one exception. So in the beginning, it was Noon, the waters of Noon, and from the waters of Noon came Atum. And Atum had two offspring, Shu and Tefnut. Shu was air, and Tefnut was moisture. And from Shu and Tefnut, they begot Jeb, which is earth, and Nat, which is sky. And from Jeb and Nat, they produced the first mortals, the actual beings. This is the Egyptian story of creation of their deities of the natural. So Jeb and Nat got together, and they had Isis, Osiris, Set, and Netis. Well, I might not say that right, but fuck you. You think Jesus is Capricorn anyway, so it really don't matter what you think. But, all right. And that's what, all right, so we got Isis, Osiris, Set, and his wife. So, y'all all familiar with the story. I hope y'all are familiar with the story. Isis, Osiris, and Isis. Or, that's the, my bad, I'm sorry. Isis and Osiris is the Greek names. The Kemet names was Asar, Aset, and Haru, which is the same thing as Isis, Osiris, and Horus. But just that y'all know, because y'all might be looking at certain things on the internet, YouTube, Instagram, and you see Asar, Aset. You see on somebody else's post, Isis, Osiris, it's the same people, but just different, you know, translation. So, and by the way, that's where the whole Christian thing come from, is Oset, Asar, and Haru was Set killed Asar, cut his body in 13 pieces, spread it all over the land, and Isis was his wife. She went put the pieces together and taught. That's like one of the most important deities in the whole thing, and it's just so mysterious. Well, nobody know. She ain't even in you know, the first 9, but he plays a big part. So anyway, where we at? Yeah, Set and chopped the body Asar up. Set finds it, put it back together, but find everything but his phallus. His dick, for you motherfuckers who still think Jesus is Capricorn. That's the only piece that he couldn't find, she couldn't find. But, and they didn't have no child, so she cried over his body. Anubis and Todd helped her mummify it, and this process, somewhere she got pregnant. Immaculate conception, virgin, pregnant without having sex. That's where this whole theory come from. And had Haru. And Haru grew up to fight Set, which is the devil. And well, what the fuck? What I'm trying to get to here, but that's where the story of Jesus come from. I'm getting at how spirituality come with religion. Bear with me. We're gonna get there. So this is the story of that, and so during this, all this going on, you got Alexander the Great come over to Kemet. It was Kim then, the land of Kemet. So Alexander the Great, he comes in 332 BC, 332 years before Christ. And he was battling. By this time, the Persians had conquered Egypt, but this like after 20 dynasties, and a dynasty that could be anywhere from 100 to 200 years. A dynasty is like this family. So my last name Cotton. It's like the Cotton family. My dad, my grandpa was a pharaoh. His son was a pharaoh, which is my dad, and then I'm a pharaoh, then my son a pharaoh, then his son a pharaoh. That's one dynasty, then another family, another lineage to take over. So one dynasty could be, anywhere from 100 to 200 years. So this was about close to like 19, 20 dynasties. And like, some of these numbers might be off, but it's accurate, it's pinpoint for you. And like I said, you don't know anyway because you still think Jesus is a Capricorn. So you do your own research and you're going to find how accurate the information is. So, but anyway, Alexander the Great come over and he was fighting the Persians. By this time, the Persians had conquered Egypt after like 20 dynasties. So that's like damn near, I don't know, fucking 40,000 years, some shit like that. Who gives a fuck? But you get the picture. You get what I'm trying to say. So, by this time, Alexander, he didn't really conquer Egypt. They looked at him more like a liberator because the Persians, they took over. They was fucking shit up. It just was like hard on the brother. Almost like the white man. But, so, Alexander the Great come in, they welcomed him with open arms. Oh, you come save us from the Persians. So now, Alexander the Great was like honorary pharaoh. But this the crazy part. Usually the theme is, if I conquer your country, I'm going to knock down all y'all shit and bring in and shit from my country. And now your country going to be an extension of my country. Repeat this. Kim was so fly, the shit was so fly with Alexander the Great that he didn't want to tear it down. He like, man, he adopted date culture and way of doing things, spirituality. So that's it. Let me break this down, give you an analogy of what this is. That's just like, I move in, you got a house. You move out the house, you just say, fuck it, you was put out, whatever, you gone, you ain't there no more. Now I got my own furniture. I got my own clothes. And I said, I'm going to move in the house. So I put down a deposit, buy the house, whatever. I move in. I see how fly your shit is. Man, fuck man, fuck my shit. I don't need no furniture. I'm you know, what is furniture? And go in the closet. Oh, whoa, what the fuck, man? Man, my clothes is trash. I'm about to wear this nigga clothes. So that's Alexander the Great. He like, man, this shit so fly, man. I don't even want to fuck with none of that other shit. So, and this is just a quick summary. So now we at Sugar Hill Gang. So now this is where the religion part gets introduced to the spirituality. And the spirituality is really just like religion versus free. Spirituality is freedom and responsibility versus control and what's the word I'm looking for? No responsibility. You see, the religion, Jesus died for your sins. And spirituality was Jesus Christ. Christ died for your sins because Jesus not a real person. Definitely not a Capricorn. Was tied of Christ was back to they taught in Kemet that Christ is a title and everybody must become Christ to extent. And that's where the whole story comes from, which is Hebrew. Basically, Hebrew / hero. I'm going to take it further. Jesus was the Spanish version for Jesus. Jesus, Heru, hero. Coincidence? I don't know, might be. But now we kind of merging it together. So the Kelms taught you got to become the hero and be set to ascend. Was the whole thing is Heru is your higher self, set is your lower self. So like your animal instincts, that's set. And Heru is the divine part of us. So you got to kill your animal instinct and let your divinity take control to rise, ascend to heaven, fifth dimension, the next realm, or whatever. Or to become Osiris. That's what the story was when Heru killed Set. He became Osiris. His spirit of Osiris came in. And another interesting fact, all of the pharaohs claim to be Heru incarnated. So now, we still on the Sugar Hill Gang. They recording this. The white man, Alexander the Great, and was eventually became the Roman because Greeks stole from the Kemites and the Romans stole from Greek. And Roman Catholic is America. So we get the Roman version of everything. So, and I say, so we got Bronx, Cool Herc, Africa Bambaataa, and the Grandmaster Flash, and the Nubia. Then Sugar Hill Gang take it out the Kemite and record it. Then we got Alexander the Great, the Greeks and the Romans would represent the record labels, the white man, say we about to take this shit and get paid. That's when it became religion. Because somewhere down the line, you know, the Hebrews got a hold of this where all the whole thing of Moses going to Egypt, then coming out with the Ten Commandments led. Ten Commandments just the 40 principles of my. You dig? I have not sinned, I have not killed, I have not stole, I have not committed adultery. It's just Ten Commandments, just a watered down version of the, you know, principles of my. So, and how it got to be a control thing with the Romans, where, you know, you got the whole principle of Haru. You got to become the hero to ascend. They had a lot of people who were Christ consciousness. So, and they had, I think it was Joshua Ben-Hur, a few more people who were teaching these teachings. And they had followers that were so strong in their beliefs, and the Romans, you know, they was doing their own thing, which it was still African. It was just their own version of it. But, and these followers of this Christ, let me see, I think I got it wrote down somewhere. This Christ, Joshua Ben-Hur, Yahshua, who we refer to now as Jesus, was so, like, adamant about his teaching, and like they willing to die for this, and the Romans just couldn't, like, fathom that. Like, man, these people gonna die on the cross, get stoned and all this before they renounce their religion. So you got Constantine, Emperor Constantine. He like, hold up, let's see something. We could, this is where democracy come into play. Democracy, this is where democracy meets theology. So he said, shit getting out of hand, but because everybody believe in this and it's hard to control, but like if we put everything under the same umbrella and put these Christian beliefs and make this the official, you know, religion, I could kill two birds with one stone. It's like Christians causing ruckus, and the Romans, the pagan, they killing the Christians, but then I can't control the pagans. They doing what they want to do. They killing Christians, and they getting out of hand, killing each other. So he like, I could make everybody Christian, so that stop the Romans from killing the Christians if everybody Christians. And also, if I could get the Romans to believe how the Christians believe, then that gonna bring them together and stop them from doing all this foolishness, and it's gonna have more order. So he called the first council of Nicaea. And when this was, the council of Nicaea was in like 300 something years after Christ the Capricorn allegedly died. So they can put these, you know, Nicene Council. They got Christian bishops, and I'm pretty sure there's a few pagan bishops too. And they came together, and this shit lasted like months. So they all good bicker. We need to put this. We need to put this, that, now. We need to leave this out because this. Anyway, they came up with the Bible. But before this, it was like more like Gnosticism. But then they did away with the Gnosticism because that was some deep shit. They was like, we don't want them being this deep. We just trying to dumb them down and have some kind of control over them. What the Gnostics believe. Next video gonna be on Gnosticism. We gonna talk about the Gnosticism on the next video. That's what I'ma really prove to you motherfuckers, that Jesus is not a Capricorn when we talk about the Gnosticism. But anyway, they say, all right, we gonna do away with the Gnostic stuff. We gonna dumb them down. We gonna take the winter solstice. Because before then, nobody knew when Jesus was born. It was just the star in the sky rose, and the three wise men came, but ain't no recorded dates. Ain't nothing in the Bible that say Jesus is a Capricorn. Show me where at in the Bible it say Jesus is a Capricorn, and I'm going to show you a piece of oceanfront property in Kansas City, Missouri, and $1 million. Jesus is not a motherfucking Capricorn, but we gon' and I'm gonna prove it to you. But you keep on believing Jesus is a Capricorn if you want to. But so what? Where was I? Oh yeah. How we got to Jesus being a Capricorn. They had Winter Solstice Festival in Rome, which is Egyptian to Egyptian king. The whole concept behind the Winter Solstice is the star Sirius. So there's ancient Kemites, they was really into astrology and all this. We ain't into that shit no more, but we got other two distractions. But you ain't got nothing but the star. Ain't had TV, YouTube, Sega Genesis, PlayStation, and all this crazy shit. So they were fascinated about astrology. That's where all of these concepts and all these gods come from. Astrology. And we gonna get more into that. I'm gonna do a video on that too. It's like, basically, I'm just giving you a rough draft. We gotta understand some of this stuff to understand some of the stuff on the further videos, because I could talk about this stuff for 40 days, 40 nights, and still just be scratching the surface. And you ain't gonna understand it anywhere if you still think Jesus is a Capricorn. So we just gotta get some stuff out the way. So basically, where was I? The star Sirius. All right. The star Sirius. Sirius was in the sky, the brightest star in the sky. But the closer it got to December 25th, it was disappearing. You couldn't see it. Like on December 21st, it just disappeared. And then on December 25th, it appeared again. Yes, the birth of God's son. The sun, which is a star, right? The sun is a star. So the star is a sun. It's synonymous. You could switch it up. So the star Sirius reappeared on the 25th. So like it's birthed again. The Son of God was born on December 25th. Not no motherfucking Jesus. So God's son I guess you could say a Capricorn. But we ain't talking about Jesus Christ. So I told you, I just proved to you that Jesus is not a Capricorn. This the winter solstice. That's the whole Christmas celebration come from, and they had to incorporate this into the Bible, cause they was like, these Romans, they ain't gonna just, take all this Christianity shit lightly. So we gotta give them some kind of, some kind of deal. Like, look, we gonna let y'all still celebrate your winter solstice, your Easter, which is Esther, a Babylonian fertility god. That's where, hence, the eggs come from. You think y'all all type of crazy. You think Jesus a Capricorn? He got rabbits laying eggs. Come on, man, really? Really? You see how I'm looking at you, really? But that's how all this stuff came into fruition. And before this, it was just spirituality. These concepts were used to teach. Then, the white man, it was just hip-hop. Everybody was just having fun before this. A white man come and put a price tag on everything. Like, we about to get paid off this shit. Now you got T.D. Jakes, Paul Martin, Creflo Dollar, after they monetized what they was doing for free in the Bronx. People making money off of a little change, but it was a little change. It wasn't nothing like what's going on today, the hip-hop game. You see what I'm saying? And white man control hip-hop. White man control religion. White man told you Jesus was a Capricorn. They got Easter bunnies laying eggs, and you just roll with it. But hey, who am I except a messenger from God? That's not a Capricorn. But I can tell you I am God. Would you believe me if I told you I was the backbone of the serpent in the sky? Hey. But you don't believe that, but you believe Jesus is a Capricorn. Hey. But like I said, this is a 38 minutes. But next video I'm gonna break down the Gnostics, what the Christians before the real Christians believe before it got monetized. You see what I'm saying? The real Kemites, what they taught before the white man came in with the record labels and told y'all Jesus was a Capricorn. We're going to get into that next. That's going to be the next video. I wish I could have put it all into that, but, put it all into this video. That was my intention, but that just give me more time to go in depth. So, next video, I'm going to end this video. You got to break down how the Egyptians became Egyptians in the first place. And like I say, it is just loosely, it's just a summary. I'm going to do more videos and break down some of these concepts. But it's like, you go into details, this is going to be like super long. Like, man, check out Panic videos. This dude going for like 6-7 hours on a video. And he's still scratching the surface. But he put out some good information. But it ain't no way you could, even Bobby Hemming. Bobby Hemming, this dude, he 7-8 hour videos talking about one concept. But it's real. If you got the time, check him out. because they really putting out some good information. But you not going to understand none of this information if you still think Jesus is a Capricorn. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to get some of these concepts out your head. Just be open-minded to grasp some of this knowledge. So, with that being said, peace, peace. Namaste, my true soul family, to all y'all who know Jesus is not a Capricorn. And to all you motherfuckers think Jesus is a Capricorn, I love y'all too. Peace. Peace out. I'm going to see y'all next time.